Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Happy Monday. Still tracking a few showers, although the worst of it is moving to the east. During the week ahead, a pair of cold fronts. How that's going to shake things up coming up in the next hour of news.
Deadly devastation. New looks this morning at the damage left behind by a powerful storm system that killed at least 40 people.
Downtown construction, the next step the city of Raleigh is taking today to build a new city hall and how it could affect your trips downtown.
Fill out your rackets. The NCAA tournament matchups are out. The first games for our local men's and women's teams, many of them happening right here in the Triangle. Reynolds, Carmichael, and Lenovo Center will all play host to the NCAA tournament. An exciting time, March Madness beginning. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. Great to have you on this Monday, which is also St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patty's Day to you. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, great to have you along here. It's also the Monday after Selection Sunday where everybody will be scratching out their field of 64. Who do you have winning and all? You know, it'll be one of those days around the office. Chris Michaels right now with a look at what we are up against today after all that rain yesterday.
It's not going to be as noisy as it was yesterday, though. You see some of the remnant impacts there. Just a little bit of dampness on the awning there in Fenton and Cary. Overall, a mild start to the morning, too. Temperatures upper 50s, but another round of quick showers heading toward Apex and Cary. You see that coming up from Fuquay and Holly Springs. Heaviest rain right now around Goldsboro, pushing toward the east into Lenoir and Greene counties. Aside from that, no major impacts to the morning commute. Just a few stray light showers, not nearly as heavy as what we saw yesterday, but some muddy paws for the dog walking forecast this morning. We'll see some isolated showers south and east of the Triangle this afternoon, hence the 30% that we have for today. Temperatures lower 60s. Another front coming through Thursday gives us the chance for some additional showers. We'll walk you through how that changes things up this week coming up. Michelle?
All right, thanks, Chris. I'm in for Ken Smith this morning, taking a look at the roads for your traffic. This is a live look at I-40 at Wade Avenue. Lots of headlights on the road this morning, lots of people out there, but we are not seeing any delays. That has been the story since I have been reporting on traffic since 5 o'clock this morning. All of our major routes all over looking great. Of course, because of that rain that we saw last night and the sporadic showers we've seen this morning, the roads are wet this morning. This is a look at the current road conditions. All of the green on this map indicates those wet roads. You can see 95 down near Fayetteville and Lumberton. Those not as wet as like areas here in Raleigh. 540, 85 up in Durham as well, seeing those wet roads. Kelsey Coffey is in the storm tracker. She is on I-40. Kelsey, where exactly are you? What are you seeing?
Hey, Michelle, we're on 40, and it looks like we're coming up on the Miami Boulevard exit. But just throughout the entire morning, we've seen exactly what Chris has been telling everyone about, scattered showers. So we'll give you a live look now at road conditions here as we're passing the Page Road exit. But you can see that there's a little bit of water there on the windshield. We saw quite a bit of rain near the airport probably about 30 minutes ago. So as far as what you can expect for your morning commute, expect to see scattered showers like what we've mentioned before. You'll also see some really wet roads because I checked in with our meteorologist team and they say that parts of Wake County, especially east of RDU, saw anywhere between 2 and 4 inches of rain yesterday. So you may want to slow down, give yourself a little bit of extra time because you just want to watch out for any ponding that could be on the roads. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in RTP.
Those weather alerts that were in effect for our area all expired early this morning. A storm that passed through left behind flooding in some spots. This is what it looked like right here on Peace Street in Raleigh last night. Now, earlier yesterday, floodwaters covered Hodges Street near Atlantic Avenue. That's right next to Crabtree Creek. We saw a lot of cars driving through that water there. Drivers are reminded this is always dangerous to drive through water like this on those roads.
That same storm system was responsible for the deaths of at least 40 people across several states. At least 12 people died in Missouri and 8 died in Kansas. Many parts of Alabama had severe storm damage as well. At least 66 tornadoes touched down. Arkansas was hit with an EF4 tornado. President Donald Trump has deployed the National Guard there to help people recover from the damage.
Work to build a new city hall in downtown Raleigh will result in some traffic issues. Starting today, the westbound lane of Hargett Street between McDowell and Dawson will be closed through the end of the year. City officials say the new building is about 20% done now. They say it'll be more convenient for employees and people who live in the area because you can now do everything under one roof. Pay bills, receive permits, attend city council meetings. All the businesses in the area will stay open while the road closure is in effect. The city says the road will be closed until the end of the year.
Today, we'll get some big news about the final Dreamville Festival in Raleigh, which is less than 3 weeks away. The performer lineup is set to be released at noon. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from Dix Park in Raleigh. And Laura, this festival has a global fan base, and it's given Raleigh a big economic boost over the years.
Renee, good morning. We are inching closer and closer to Dreamville weekend, and today we will learn which artists will be performing here at Dix Park behind me, bringing in those big crowds from across the world for the 5th and final year. Now, you're going to want to save this. Take a look. New maps released by Dreamville over the weekend, giving you a better idea of the traffic flow here in the city. You're going to want to take Gorman Street to Avon Ferry Road to Varsity Drive to beat the traffic for that big weekend. Then there's, of course, the official downtown shuttle map. Festival goers can purchase a shuttle ticket to get picked up in downtown and shuttled to the festival grounds. Then there's also plenty of parking around NC State's campus for those who decide to purchase a parking pass. Now, more than 100,000 festival goers from 20 plus countries attended last year's event. Raleigh brought in about $145.9 million in economic impact from Dreamville. And with this being the final year, the local economy will take a big hit from no longer hosting this event. No replacement has been announced for Dreamville. However, organizers with Visit Raleigh previously said that they plan to create a new Raleigh Music Festival. Now, this week is a major week for the local hotel and hospitality industry, and that's because typically when the lineup is released, that's when they see a boost in sales and many people booking and making those final arrangements before descending upon Raleigh that weekend. Of course, we're going to keep you updated on what that lineup will be when Dreamville announces around noon today. Laura Levine, WRAL News, we're live in Raleigh.
Here's another big deal for our area. The NCAA tournament brackets are out, and the Triangle has a lot of action ahead this week. 4 venues will host first and second round games in the NCAA tournament, and in all, 20 of the 136 teams who qualified to play in the tournament, the men's and women's brackets, will play here in the Triangle. Before those games, UNC will tip it up. Their first game of the men's tournament is tomorrow night. They were the last at-large team to make the tournament. They're an 11 seed. The Heels will play another 11 seed, San Diego State, tomorrow night, 9:10 p.m. tip-off in Dayton, Ohio. The winner of that one will play 6 seed Ole Miss in the round of 64 Friday. Duke enters the tournament as the number 1 seed in the East region. They will play their first game Friday afternoon at 2:50 p.m. at the Lenovo Center. Their opponent will be the winner of a play-in game Wednesday night between 2 16 seeds, Mount St. Mary's and American University.
On the women's side, Duke, NC State, and UNC are all in the top 16 teams. That means they will all host first and second round games on their home courts. Duke is a 2 seed. They'll play 15 seed Lehigh at 8 p.m. Friday at Cameron Indoor Stadium. NC State is also a 2 seed. They'll play 15 seed Vermont on Saturday at 2 p.m. at Reynolds Coliseum. And UNC is a 3 seed. They'll play 14 seed Oregon State at 4:30 p.m. Saturday at Carmichael Arena.
Your time is 6:07 here on the WRAL Live Center. Good morning. I'm Chris Lovingood. I was a bit curious to see how the U.S. futures would be doing overnight, especially now that a government shutdown has been avoided, but not too good. We're looking at the S&P 500 down 25 points, but the Dow Jones, that is what's noteworthy here. Almost 200 points down. It's been kind of fluctuating throughout the morning. And you'll see the NASDAQ down about 81 for, again, the U.S. futures overnight. We'll be watching closely to see how that changes as it pertains to when the opening bell comes today. But also, we're looking to see what developments may happen, especially because of the tariff talk that's still undergoing right now, not just with America, but other countries around the world. We'll watch closely here on WRAL News.
Chris, thanks. This morning, parents can sign up their kids for summer camps in Durham, and spots will fill up fast. Registration opens this morning at 9. Camps will run from June 23rd to August 15th. Organizers urge parents to register early to ensure that their child gets a spot.
Tonight, Durham City Council leaders will meet to discuss their upcoming budget and focus on where your tax dollars should be spent. A group of community members will rally before that meeting. They're calling for an expansion of community safety with the HEART program. It sends unarmed responders out to some emergency calls. Since the program launched in 2022, they've responded to more than 26,000 calls. Now they want city leaders to expand that program from 12 hours a day to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They also wanted to go beyond city limits to cover all of Durham County as well as Durham Public Schools.
Any resources that we're able to give our kids to help them with their quality of life, reduce the risk of violence, like prioritize de-escalation and techniques and all of that, within the school system. That's needed and it's necessary and it's needed right now.
During the city's 2023-24 budget cycle, council invested nearly $2 million into that community safety department to fund the program, and that will take much more this year for the full coverage they're proposing.
Starting today, part of Ligon Mill Road in Wake Forest is scheduled to close for bridge improvements. The road is scheduled to close at 7 this morning. It will be closed from Woodrose Lane to Burlington Mills Road for 3 weeks. The DOT is working to switch traffic from an old bridge to a newly built one. Detours will be posted. Drivers should allow for extra time.
We're at 6:10 right now on your Monday. Ceasefire talks. What President Trump says could come out of a discussion he has planned with Vladimir Putin for tomorrow.
And coming home, the long-awaited return of 2 astronauts who've been in space for 9 months, when they could finally be back on Earth. Chris.
And back here on Earth, we're tracking just a few isolated showers this morning. Then we're breezy and dry and cooler for your St. Patrick's Day. I'm tracking the next 2 cold fronts and how they're going to impact your weekly plans coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Coming up on 6:14, and you know that it's time to emerge from those Sunday scaries, get our Monday going, and we got a little breezy start for us outside of the legislative building. Every now and then the camera's shaking a little there. You see a few raindrops popping up as well. It's mild at least. Mooresville and Raleigh at 60 degrees. Garner, Knightdale 56, Chapel Hill at 55, and that's generally what you can expect over the next 1 to 2 hours at the bus stop. Showers are isolated. Send the kids with the rain gear just in case you get caught under one of those briefly. Temperatures in the 50s. Hey, some good news. No lightning and thunder, just plain old isolated rain showers. Before your St. Patrick's Day, temperatures make it into the lower 60s. I'll show you which parts of the area make a run at 80 degrees this week, coming up in a bit.
All right, thank you, Chris. And some good news traffic-wise as well. Take a look at our traffic maps. All clear this morning. I'm starting to feel like a broken record because every time I come here and tell you what the traffic looks like, it's the same thing. Things looking really, really good this morning. We also do have nothing going on in Durham. This is a live look there. And our friends down in Fayetteville, all of the major routes down there, 95, looking good this morning. I do have some current delays. Of course, no delays so far this morning.
Thanks, Michelle. President Trump says he will speak with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow. Trump told media on Air Force One he hopes he and Putin will have something to announce about the ceasefire proposal with Ukraine. He says negotiations would include discussions around land and power plants. These ongoing talks have already included discussions about dividing up certain assets.
We're working to learn what led to a shooting that killed 2 people in Rocky Mount. Police say 27-year-old Tyqueen Sharp and 35-year-old Jotavian Wilkins were killed on East Raleigh Boulevard Saturday night. 29-year-old Keemon Irvin was injured in the shooting and has been treated and released from the hospital. Anyone with information about this shooting is encouraged to contact Rocky Mount Police. We are seeing Pope Francis for the first time since he was hospitalized more than a month ago. The Vatican released this picture showing the Pope at a hospital chapel in Rome. They say he took part in a mass service there yesterday. Pope Francis has been battling a respiratory illness for weeks now.
Today marks 1 year since a wife and mother was shot and killed protecting her sister in a custody dispute. 44-year-old Emily Steinhoff James was in Smithfield to support her sister, picking up her 14-month-old child from the child's father, Dorian Thomas. Police say Thomas fired a single shot that hit and killed James. Her family remembers James as an Army veteran, lawyer, and nurse. They say she was a talented actress and singer as well, who shined at Raleigh Little Theater. James leaves behind a husband and young son. The trial for her murder is set for April 14th.
2 astronauts who've been in space for 9 months are expected to return to Earth tomorrow. Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams are on track to come home after a SpaceX Dragon capsule docked with the International Space Station yesterday. NASA and SpaceX are assessing weather conditions for a splashdown off Florida's coast tomorrow night. Wilmore and Williams were only supposed to be on the space station for 10 days last June. And they've been stuck there because of problems with the capsule that took them there. Hope this is the one.
Right on. An Apple AirTag, the device meant to keep people and their things organized, has thrown a Franklin County woman's life into chaos.
And it's upset my routine and it's got me all out of whack. I've never really thought about it, but we have to really be careful as women, like especially in 2025.
Earlier this month, Brianna Bunn received an alert on her phone, and an unknown Apple AirTag had been tracking her for more than 50 miles. The only way to disable it and identify the owner is to find the physical device. But when Bunn followed Apple's instructions, nothing worked. Tonight at 6, only on WRAL News, 5 on your side's Keely Arthur uncovers how criminals are modifying those AirTags, making them harder than ever to track.
Duke Energy is working to restore power to people across our state. This is video from Asheville, where thousands of homes and businesses had their power knocked out yesterday. According to the outage tracking website, poweroutage.us, there are still about 7,000 customers without power statewide. And the storms that moved through yesterday also dumped a good amount of rain across the area. Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We saw anywhere 2 to 4 inches of rain, right?
Especially in Johnston County, and that's why the Neuse River is approaching minor flood stage through tonight at Smithfield and Clayton. So some of the greenways may see some flooding through tonight. It's not a major kind of thing, but it could be inconvenient for those of us that like to walk those greenways. Meanwhile, you see that lightning and that line of storms moving offshore. For us here at home, just a few sporadic rain showers moving through the triangle, a few heavier bands, especially in Wilson, Wayne, Lenoir, and Greene counties. Here's Futurecasting. You notice it's kind of overdoing things a little bit this morning, but you see there's the chance at least for some sporadic activity up until about 8 or 8:30. And then even as we go beyond 1 p.m., I can't rule out a stray shower popping up as you go south of the triangle. Better chance is going to be farther offshore as this system starts to pass off some energy. Around town for your St. Patrick's Day, I love this guy, man. Durham's at 60 degrees, Raleigh 61, Fayetteville at about 63 degrees. And the wind starts to gust a little bit, 20 to 25 miles per hour. Not enough for damage, not enough for power outages, just an additional breeze that you may notice. And we typically do see that in the month of March. Heading into tonight, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 30s. Look at that, 34, 38 degrees. That's going to be your general range. Patchy frost, a possibility out the door Tuesday morning. Warming up through Wednesday, then another pair of cold fronts. Not necessarily expecting anything severe, but you see the chance for a few showers Thursday, again Saturday night, and then in between you see some minor cool down. So typical kind of March stuff for you as we go toward the first day of spring Thursday. High temperature Wednesday, mid to upper 70s. Thursday still warm with a few of those showers, and then another cool down heading into the upcoming weekend. Michelle?
All right. Thank you, Chris. Taking you back out on the roads this morning. Things still looking good. All of our major routes, Raleigh, Wake Forest, Durham, all looking good this morning. I do want to show you the current road conditions. I've been showing you this all morning long because this is what you're going to expect when you go out. A lot of the roadways are wet this morning from the rain that we saw yesterday and a little bit of the rain that we're still seeing scattered this morning. But you can see most of us do have those wet road conditions. All of the green on this map here, that is what is indicating the wet road conditions. We do also have Storm Tracker out on the roads for us. Storm Tracker is at I-40 in Cary this morning, passing the Wade Avenue exit right now on 40. So that is what you were dealing with this morning. You can see the windshield wipers going there. So expect that if you were heading out this morning. Back on the roads in Durham, looking at delays. We are only seeing a 1-minute delay coming in from NC 50 this morning.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Property values rising. We've seen it in Wake County. What you need to know now if you live in Durham County and have questions about what new appraisals could mean for your tax bill.
And a new addition to Ken Smith's family. He and his wife Amanda's 3 kids now have a baby sister. We'll introduce you to her coming up in What's Trending.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Today in What's Trending, Ted Lasso is coming back for a 4th season.
Yeah, star Jason Sudeikis is sharing some of those plot details.
Yeah, Sudeikis spoke about it on Jason Travis Kelce's podcast. He says Ted Lasso will be coaching a women's team in the next season. Interesting plot line there. No word yet on when we'll be getting new episodes.
Yeah, it really sounds like Kelly and Rebecca have gotten together and plotted out a women's team for this. I'm excited. I don't care what it is, what it's all about. If it's coming back for season 4, I'm in.
Yeah, Ted Lasso has been so missed. The first 2 seasons were incredible too and won a ton of awards. Well, exciting news for our own Ken Smith. He and his wife Amanda welcomed their 4th baby, Sarah Catherine. She was born Friday, so she's a pie baby, Pie Day, and weighed 9 pounds. She is named in honor of Amanda's grandmother. And Ken also says that Sarah Catherine will be known as Sarah Catherine, not Sarah. She is a 2 first-name baby.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And she looks a lot like Frankie, doesn't she?
Well, Frankie was calling her baby Frankie,
Yes.
right? on the way. She is beautiful.
Beautiful.
Goodness.
And Ken Smith and Amanda, 4 under 4. You
Hey.
are so blessed.
Rocking it. Congratulations. That is
Yeah.
so good. Today, Lee County will celebrate the opening of a newly renovated playground. Ribbon cutting is set for 10 this morning at San Lee Park on Pumping Station Road. The county says the new playground has modern equipment designed to encourage physical activity, social interaction, and imaginative play for children under the age of 12 and under.
The Holy Festival at Garland Court in Durham has been rescheduled. It was supposed to take place yesterday, but it was postponed because of severe weather. Holy Festivals feature dance performances, colorful powders, and food. The festival will now take place next Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m.
The NFL's highest paid non-quarterback is now Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase. Bengals signed him late last night to a 4-year, $161 million deal. That's $40.25 million a year, and $112 million of that is guaranteed. At the same time, fellow Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins also getting a new contract. The team signed him to a 4-year, $115 million deal.
6:26 now, City Hall construction. The next step happening today in downtown Raleigh and how it could affect your downtown trips.
And if you're taking a trip to downtown this morning, we've got just a few brief isolated showers moving from southwest to northeast. I'll help you plan for the morning commute, show you when these showers finally move out coming up.
And a question of force. A man accused of shooting a teen says he was trying to break into his car. He's due in local court today. Why the sheriff says the man's response to that break-in was not lawful.